I was born in Hi, my name is Monica. I'm 15 years old. We will probably never meet on the street.
Videos. So let's begin.
Hi, my name is Monica. I'm 15 years old. We will probably never meet on the street. We cannot have mutual acquaintances, and you would never know about my existence if it were not for this story. I am ready to share with you my unusual story. I was born an ordinary, healthy child, grew and developed like all children until I was about 5 years old. But at the age of 5, I suddenly had strange symptoms that were similar to many diseases. Sometimes a strange rash appeared or disappeared. There were attacks of breathlessness, fainting for no reason, headaches. But all possible diagnoses were ruled out one by one until there weren't any more. Doctors shrugged and gave only general recommendations: sleep, exercise, vitamins, and fresh air. Nothing helped, and my condition gradually worsened to such an extent that I fell into a coma. Doctors fought for my life for a long time, and in the end I regained consciousness and got better, but the reason remained unclear. My parents continued to take me to the best clinics in the world. Doctors held consultations, examined me, and every time attempts to get to the bottom of the truth came to a standstill. My symptoms were 100% unsuitable for every diagnosis. However, after 4 years of my suffering, one professor specializing in rare diseases finally managed to explain what was happening to me. It turned out that I have the rarest type of allergy to the air. The diagnosis seemed absurd. How can a person living on this planet have an allergy like this? And how did I live until almost 10 years? And if this is true, then what should I do next? How can I continue to live without air? I was prescribed allergy medications without making any predictions, and for a while they helped me. I returned to my usual life. I resumed school, walked with friends, played the piano. And then the allergy attacked me with renewed vigor. The prescribed drugs didn't help anymore. It was very, very bad. I fell into a coma again, and again doctors managed to pull me out. My parents demanded that doctors prescribe adequate treatment because many people live full lives with allergies and they do not have to balance between life and death, and I had already been in a coma twice. Then they explained to my parents that I have a special case and it is impossible to just remove the allergen from my life because I need it to breathe and therefore to live. This time I was prescribed hormonal drugs with a bunch of side effects, but their effect didn't last long, and again I deteriorated into a coma. But I was lucky that I got a very competent doctor who said that the amount of allergen in my body came to a critical point and further medical treatment is pointless. It sounded like a death sentence. My parents gave up, and I was ready for the worst. But to die in the 21st century from an allergy seemed a little silly to me. The next most important step for me took place. We were looking forward to the results. We were told that there is only one option that will allow me to continue living, and the doctors are ready to announce it. It turned out to be a closed capsule in which they offered to place me indefinitely. There was no choice. We had to agree. At first, I was in a closed special chamber at the clinic where special filters and air purifying devices were installed. I spent almost a month in it while my parents were waiting for the manufacture of my capsule, equipping our apartment for it, and waiting for it to be installed at our place. During this time, I wasn't afraid to die from allergies, but of boredom. Being in a confined space around the clock proved to be a difficult test for me. When everything was ready, they took me home and put me in my new room. At first it was funny. I felt like the hero of a survival film. But just a few days later, I wanted to howl like a wolf from longing and sadness. How long will I be here? What's the point? What if it's forever? My parents helped me adapt by all means. I was bombarded with toys and sweets. I bought a laptop with which I began to study in a virtual school. In it, I found handicraft lessons and began to make handmade toys. Twice a week, a psychologist came to see me so that I would not get depressed. However, I had moments when I thought it was better to die than to live like this. Why did I get such a fate? I want to walk. I want to ride a bike. I want to have friends my own age and not sit within the four walls of my artificial world. But a person gets used to everything. I got used to it. I began to philosophize about my life and even tried to find the positives in my position. For example, I don't have to face betrayal of friends. I don't need to worry about what to wear tomorrow to school. I don't have to adapt to a society that I don't like. To date, I have been in the capsule for 3 years. During this time, it became my home. I feel comfortable in it. I even decorated it to my taste. Recently, doctors allow me to leave it twice a day for 15 minutes. And every day I look forward to it. I make plans for each of the 15 minutes. Usually I go to a store near my house or to a swing at the nearest park. My doctor says that if everything goes well, after half a year I can leave the capsule for 1 hour every day. And he also told me that a new drug was created which perhaps will allow me to leave the capsule forever. But it is still being tested, and if it is approved by the Ministry of Health of our country, then after 2 or 3 years I will be able to test it on myself. I am glad that I have hope. I am glad to see the light at the end of the tunnel. In the meantime, I can enjoy complete solitude in my world and engage in self-development. In fact, I doubt whether I can return to society after so many years of imprisonment and whether I want to. But the fact that I will have such an opportunity makes me happy. What do you think? If I manage to leave the capsule, will I join the modern rhythm of life? I will be glad to read your answers in the comments.
Okay. So that's gonna do it for this video. Bye.